And finally, we've reached these events, the flashback of two of the most important Quincy characters, Bazz-B and Haschwalth. I truly enjoyed watching this episode, guys, and what I liked the most were the backgrounds. Finally, we got some backgrounds, and we also got some dramatic events about the genius Bazz-B and the other half of Yhwach, Haschwalth. The episode also included some beautiful additions that gave us insights into parts of Bazz-B and Haschwalth's lives that weren't shown in the manga. Additionally, guys, the flashback revealed many new details that raised more questions about Yhwach's first birth and the fate of Haschwalth and Bazz-B during and after the first war between the Shinigami and the Quincy's. That's why, guys, let's talk about this amazing episode that was titled The Friend. And so, guys, everyone can notice that most of the Sternritter seem to be distant from one another, with no visible closeness between them. The only exception that I can talk about are the Quincy girls, who clearly know each other in one way or another, either from their recruitment or from their previous lives. As for the rest, you can get the sense that they are disconnected, each coming from a different background. However, guys, the relationship that came as a surprise to everyone was the backstory of Bazz-B and Haschwalth. There had been hints of their connection in scenes where there was a tension between the two. Bazz-B would call Haschwalth Jugo, which was one of the first signs that there was something between them. Thus, Bazz-B's arrival to fight Haschwalth served as the gateway for Kubo to give us a glimpse into part of the history of the Quincy's. And so the opening scenes of the flashback takes us back 1000 years, even before the war between Yhwach and Yamamoto, to a time when Yhwach hadn't yet fully solidified his control over the Quincy regions. And during that period, the Quincy's appeared to live in a large region of the world. And when Yhwach emerged with his army, he started what we can call a civil war, where Yhwach fought against Quincy clans, conquering region after region. And during this time, there was a Quincy clan that could be considered noble family, the Black family. They were known in that area, and young Bazz-B lived in what appeared to be a castle. It could be said that Bazz-B was talented even at a young age. While Haschwalth played a role in Bazz-B's growth, Bazz-B already had a natural gift from childhood, able to control Rishi and form a bow and arrow, which is a rare ability at such a young age. And Bazz-B's childhood was privileged. He was the son of a well-known lord in that region, had both father and mother as shown in this scene, and was considered a genius with a natural talent. And so everything in his life seemed to set him up for greatness at that age. In the opposite, Haschwalth was shown to have neither a father nor a mother. As noted in his character profile, his childhood was filled with violence, and we have seen signs of violence on his body, and of course the one who did that to him was his uncle. And above all, young Haschwalth was seen as a burden, unable to control Rishi or form a bow and arrow. So the meeting between Bazz-B and Haschwalth was anything but ordinary, because Bazz-B hunted rabbits for flexing, while Haschwalth hunted them out of necessity to survive. And what impressed me the most was young Bazz-B's character. He seemed like the kind of friend that Haschwalth truly needed. As mentioned, Haschwalth had no friends, no parents, a terrible relationship with his uncle, and a bleak life overall. That scene where Bazz-B gave Haschwalth his necklace was deeply meaningful, marking the beginning of their bond as friends. However, things took a dramatic turn with the arrival of Yhwach and his army at Bazz-B's castle and the surrounding areas. Yhwach's arrival completely altered the destiny of these two children. And as a PS, guys, the scene depicting Yhwach's arrival were new and not present in the manga, and I truly enjoyed them. This showed that there was indeed some level of Quincy resistance against Yhwach, and here Bazz-B, guys, mentioned something still shrouded in mystery, which we'll discuss later. And so he said that Yhwach was to be the ancestor of all the Quincy's and was born 200 years ago. And as we mentioned, Yhwach arrived with his soldiers, demonstrating extraordinary power, and as Bazz-B noted, it was far beyond the traditional Quincy methods of using bows and arrows. And more than that, the anime clarified something that wasn't clear in the manga, at least for me. The nature of the flames Yhwach used in his attack. In the colored manga, the flames appeared red, but in the anime it was revealed they were actually blue flames, made of Reichi, the same flames Yhwach used in his attack on Wikomondo. And as we saw, the attack was devastating. Yhwach's followers killed everyone, leaving young Bazz-B as the only survivor. In the anime exclusive scene, we see Bazz-B trembling with fear as Yhwach advanced, and the terror in Bazz-B's eyes as he looked in Yhwach's strange gaze. And I believe Yhwach intentionally left Bazz-B alive. It's unlikely he didn't notice him. Perhaps he left him to play a role in bringing Haschwalth to his side. Another detail, guys, we saw how Haschwalth found his sword, and this leads something to speculate that Haschwalth might possess Fullbring abilities, which is a topic for another video. In any case, Yhwach's actions dramatically changed the lives of both Haschwalth and Bazz-B. Bazz-B, the son of a lord with a family and a normal life, suddenly lost everything because of Yhwach. On the other hand, Haschwalth, who lived a miserable life with his uncle, might have seen Yhwach's actions as a release from his suffering. And this is where the divergence between Bazz-B and Haschwalth's goal began. Bazz-B naturally developed a hatred for Yhwach and wanted revenge, declaring his intent to Haschwalth and dragging him to his goal. However, Haschwalth didn't seem driven by a desire to kill Yhwach. Instead, he appeared to follow the path Bazz-B chose, especially since Bazz-B stood out as a skilled Quincy with remarkable abilities in crafting Quincy techniques. In the opposite, Haschwalth, both in the past and present, seemed like a burden, as we said, merely training to fight with a sword he found. And this led Bazz-B make an important statement. He said that cases like Haschwalth's used to occur every few decades, but they hadn't happened in centuries. And this suggests that the Quincy as a race existed long before Yhwach's birth 200 years ago. And this makes me believe that what we have seen as Yhwach's birth in these scenes wasn't his first, nor was it the origin of the Quincy's. It's possible that there was another birth that produced the first generation of Quincy's. However, this point remains ambiguous and requires further explanation. The flashback also revealed something important. A few years after Yhwach destroyed Bazz-B in Haschwalth's home, he managed to establish complete control over the Quincy regions, creating what came to be known as the Empire of Light. At this point, Yhwach decided to take a new, unprecedented step, invading the Soul Society. And this is when the idea of creating a new army came, which he would call the Sternritter. And here, guys, we should note something important. During this period, Ichibi had not yet approached Yhwach to offer him the deal shown in the flashback we have seen, because at the end of that meeting, Yhwach's eyes would close and would lose his almighty ability. However, when Yhwach met Haschwalth and Bazz-B, it was evident that he still possessed the almighty at the time, and at that amazing meeting, Haschwalth's power was revealed. The reason Haschwalth couldn't form weapons out of Reichi was because he shared the same power as Yhwach, the ability to share power to others. And this explained why Bazz-B's power increased during the time he spent with Haschwalth. It was also revealed that Haschwalth was Yhwach's other half, and that Yhwach had been searching for him for a long time. And this insight gave us, guys, a glimpse into Yhwach's almighty ability during that era, and how he could see glimpses of the future. However, guys, what Yhwach did disrupted Bazz-B's plans and even reversed the dynamic of his relationship with Haschwalth. Bazz-B, the son of one of the lords with status, who once saw Haschwalth as his minion, found himself in the opposite position. Yhwach made Haschwalth his right-hand man and the leader of the Sternritter, while Bazz-B became just one among many officers in the army. This raises, guys, some important questions. We know that this new army in these events occurred before Yhwach's attack on the Soul Society. So where was Haschwalth then? Where was Bazz-B during the First War? I had hoped that the anime flashback would answer these questions, but unfortunately it didn't. In the end, guys, I believe that despite the path Haschwalth chose which distanced him from Bazz-B, he tried to spare Bazz-B from a grim fate, such as dying in an attempt to kill Yhwach. However, in the end, the battle at the Royal Palace had a clear outcome. Perhaps that battle served as a kind of challenge for Haschwalth, a winning of which side to choose, Yhwach or Bazz-B. In the end, he sided with Yhwach, though it was evident that deep down, Haschwalth wished for events to have taken a different course. And also guys, we can talk about another character appeared during Ichibi's and Yhwach's flashback who wasn't shown in the manga. These characters who were always with Yhwach in the flashback, it's like they were the first generation of the elite guard. Unfortunately, this young lady, even her name remains unknown, and her identity is still a matter of debate, because some say that this is the servant of Haschwalth. It's possible her appearance changed over time. However, I believe that we might learn who she is in the upcoming episodes. And then guys, what do you think about the flashback? Tell me your opinions. Did you like it? What did you like the most? Tell me guys in the comments, and see you in my next video.